So it's about a year since I got my red Golf R. It's a DSG. So I thought I'd do a quick video on a few quirks that I've picked up over my ownership time, and yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, so you see quirk 1 when you decide that you want to turn your fog lights on. Now, this control here is the headlight controller, so you can control whether you want park lights, dim, or well, headlights, or if you want to leave it on auto, as I do all the time. And then let's say you want to turn the fog lights on, and you see this fog light icon over here, but you don't know what to do because I try and twist it and it doesn't do anything. To turn the fog lights on, you actually need to pull this upwards. Now, I thought you had to pull it upwards and twist it over, but no. There's an icon over there, but all that it's telling you to do is pull up on it. Now, let me try and get a closer look. I don't think... Yep, so as you can see there, let me push this back down. You can see the fog light icon, but it doesn't indicate that you've got to pull it up or anything like that. So this is definitely a little quirk that I've realized. I don't use the fog lights too often, but the few times that I've had to, I've just got to remind myself not to try and snap it off by just twisting it in a way that it doesn't want to be twisted. Now, just to the right hand side of the fog light quirk, you will find the next quirk, which is the heated mirrors quirk. Now, as you can see there, it's set in the heated mirror setting, which means that when you're in foggy conditions or if there's a bit of mist build up, you can switch it over to that and heat up the mirrors a little bit and get rid of all that so it's nice and clear for you when you're driving. Now, the quirk here is you've got to twist it over there if you want to turn it on, but generally I drive with this in L. Because it lets you dip the mirror down when you're reversing, the left mirror. And I assume now this is a right-hand drive car, so I assume in countries where it's left-hand drive, it's a right-hand drive side that dips down. That just helps you see the curb a bit better and see what you're going to hit a little bit better. It protects your rims, and I've really loved having it. But you can't have that function work if you want heated mirrors, which to me is a bit of a quirk. It would make much more sense for them to just add a button somewhere that can turn it on, and that way you can just have that manual control. Now, I'm not going to suggest where they could have added that button, but all I'm going to say is I see two buttons free right there, and I can't think of anything better to have in terms of a feature. The next quirk is all to do with the head unit and the radio player. So as you can see, there's one knob here and one knob on this side. But the weird thing is that this knob is not labeled whatsoever. This knob is, but it's also for volume, which you can see is getting controlled. But if you look closely, there's only a power label, there's nothing for volume, and then if you look at on this side, there's nothing, but it does have limited functionality. But if you look here, so to me a toggle usually would be an important part of the user experience. It allows you to not look at the screen while you're driving to maybe change your radio station and things like that. But this button isn't really used to the best of its ability. On this screen, for example, it does nothing. But let's say you went to radio. Now the radio will probably not turn on. It lets you pick radio stations, but that's it. Let's say you're in menu. It lets you cycle through the different options, but there's no label indicating or telling us what exactly it's for, which I think is a little bit of a quirk. Now the next quirk is all to do with the radio / head unit as well. And it's the turning off of the radio. So let's say you're driving along and you've got the radio on and you want to turn it off. You can't do that because as soon as you hit the power button, you actually turn the whole screen off. Now this is an ambient mode. but it doesn't let you change anything or control anything. So you've got to either pick between having the radio on and turning the volume totally down, or putting it on media or something like that and not playing any music through that. That's the only way that you can turn the radio off and not have any sound coming through, which to me is definitely a quirk. Now the last annoying point for me is the door handles. So as you would have heard, that just unlocked the door and that just locked the door, and that's the front doors. So both front passenger and driver doors do that, but the rear has no sensors whatsoever. Nothing. So every time I want to use the rear doors, I've got to unlock it from here, then go back around, then open that up, and close it, and then it locks itself. But it's just such a weird quirk. I don't know why they didn't just spend a little bit of extra money and put a sensor in the rear door as well.